Again, welcome. And in a previous video, we discussed. So, what is the chance? So, we are doing that sampling with the population, and we wouldn't say the accurate result. So, we can able to say there will be a certain chance to win with that political party. There is the chance of 50% or the 60% of voters are very favor with that particular party, and then remaining 20% are favor with some other X party, and then so remaining and 20 or that 30% people are favored with that some other Y party or that Z party. So in general, in case if we want to reduce the sampling error, we have to increase the sample size. So this is the main concept. Okay. And the sampling error can occur when the proportions of the different characteristics within sample are not similar to the proportions of the characteristics of the whole population. So what is that? So always when we are making the certain characterization, we have to be evaluate the people with the appropriate questionnaires, and then what sort of the questionnaires rely on the people's mindset related with political parties, favor on the political parties. So we have the proportions that should be on that different characteristics and within the sample. And here we can able to see and one example, taking a sample of men and women, and we know that 51% of the total population are women and 49% are men, then we should aim to have the similar proportions in our sample. In case the population we are having that 51%, if you are taking that any survey with that women, so we have to take the sample size from that 51%, not for that 100% of the population. So we have to be categorized that. In case if you are taking that any survey so related with that school students from the grade of 6 to 10, and we should have counted population about that student strength, which is having from age of 10 to 50. So in this age range alone, the students will study and their standards of 6 to 10. So we have to take it into the consideration. So what will be the total population of the students from the age group of 10 to 15, and from there we should further classify how many girl child and then how many boy child are there in that appropriate age group. So from that population alone, we have to be take it out that sample size. So in previous slide we discussed the sample size alone that determine the what is the level of that error. So in case if we want to reduce the error, we should concentrate. So what will be the sample size? If you are taking that very too small of that sample from that population, so that will leads to that serious errors. And another one, the sampling shouldn't be in the random. So the sample should be clearly collected in that proportionate way. That should be taken out is in that random. In case if you want to able to understand what is the random in the sampling, so let me explain that is one example. So in previous scenario, I said if you want to collect certain details from the boy group of the students and the girl group of the students, we shouldn't collect something from that boy and some details from that girl. So we have to be make the certain proportion. So how much of that sample of data I should collect from that boys population, and then how much of the data that should be collected from the girl population, and these answers or that these outcomes shouldn't be messed up. So we have to be to do further analysis and then implementation of that algorithms for relatively with that boy and then relatively with that girl child. So this is the thing we have to this is the way we have to be reduced, that is that sampling error. And another one is called that is that non-sampling error. This non-sampling error that's always cause about errors that is not at all be covered in the sampling. So this non-sampling can able to be occur in these five parameters when we wouldn't able to cover up that entire population or the samples of what we decided. So this is called the coverage error, and then non-response error, and response error, and interviewer error, and processing error. So these are all that errors may happen in that non-sampling. On that, so further things we have to be continue on this next episode. So thank you very much. So thanks for the listening.